Ladies and gentle weebs, my fellow Flames of Amethyst, welcome back to another Wuthering Waves discussion video. My name is the Amethyst Abrams, and today we're going to be discussing Geshu Lin and how his presence in the future is going to impact Wuthering Waves as a whole, from the Wuthering Waves cast to the world of Wuthering Waves in Solaris 3, and just overall how he's going to impact the game going forward. If you enjoy this video, hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below. And without further ado, guys, let's get into this. So, as we know, in the legend of Geshu Lin, in his specific legend, we know he fought the Overthrax, and to do so, he conjured up and succumbed to the power of the Black Flame that corrupted him. He succumbed to it, he sacrificed his mind and body to the power of the Black Flame, and he used it to combat the Overthraxes, or the Threnodians, army, and then he disappeared into an unknown region where we do not know where he is. And just to put it into perspective, guys, no, anyone that is saying that he is dead, he is not dead. Okay, he is far from dead. I very much doubt they would kill off a character with that much lore and that much information surrounding him this early on into the game's life cycle. We learned so much about Geshu Lin in 1.0. Granted, we didn't really know much more after that. However, the lore they gave us in 1.0 indicates that he just disappeared, presumed dead, and not only that, when we were in the end game of 1.0, the final two acts of 1.0, John actually confronted the ghost or the spirit or the mirage of Geshu Lin, essentially teasing the fact that eventually we're going to see them two have to battle in the future. We know there's confrontation there, we know there's conflict between the two, there's tension between the two, and it's most likely pointing to a great battle going forward. And I can't wait. I actually cannot wait, because that means that we're going to get a great battle in Jinzhou between the two generals of the Midnight Ranges, and in my opinion, I think one of the main characters, or a main character in the story, is going to die. I really do think that the battle that is going to take place in Jinzhou, because of Geshu Lin, someone's going to die. I think a main character in the main roster is going to sacrifice himself or going to become collateral damage to the battle that is going to happen when Geshu Lin enters the fold. Okay? Because if he has been corrupted by the Black Flame, he disappeared, presumably, in my opinion, into the Threnodians' world, into the Threnodians' sort of mirror dimension where they reside. I think that's not only turned him insane, because it's been 3 years now. In lore, in canon, in Wuthering Waves, it has been 3 years since people have seen Geshu Lin, since the battle that took place between Geshu Lin and the Midnight Rangers and the Overthrax and the Overthrax's army. It's been 3 years. I honestly do believe that he is currently in the Threnodians dimension or another dimension, because we know time and space manipulation is a thing, and we do know that the Tacit Discords and the Threnodians do come from another place. So, in my opinion, and in my theory, I believe that when Geshu Lin was fighting the Overthrax, when he was fighting the Threnodian, something happened which cast him out and trapped him in the world of the Threnodian, in their dimension. And in these 3 years, bearing in mind he is still presumably succumbed to the Black Flame, and the Black Flame corrupts people when they use that power. So not only did he use that power in the Great Battle, he most likely still has that power within him. Okay, he most likely has this dark sacred power within his very being, and he's in the other dimension of the Overthrax, of the Threnodian, and who knows how powerful he's got in these 3 years. He might have been training, he might have absorbed more power from that place. The Black Flame's power might have come from the Threnodian's world. We genuinely do not know. However, every bit of evidence we've seen is pointing towards the fact that eventually Geshu Lin is either going to become free of that dimension, or he's going to figure out a way to break out of that dimension. And I think when that happens, the corruption that he has endured and the corruption that he is currently in due to the power of the Black Flame and whatever substances and whatever atmosphere and whatever he's been exposed to in this other dimension is going to influence him coming after the cast of Wuthering Waves like the Rover, but most importantly, John. John was made the new general of the Midnight Rangers after Geshu Lin's presumably passing, his disappearance. Jian became the new general of the Midnight Rangers and led them to victory and did what Geshu Lin cannot. Geshu Lin, after succumbing to the power of the Black Flame, treated his men, the Midnight Rangers, like absolute garbage. Okay, due to his reckless and mindless and absolute irresponsible decisions, due to his corruption, he cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lives of the Midnight Rangers, and he was blamed for it. He's now gained a notorious reputation for being hated because of the decisions and because of the kind of person he became due to the Black Flame. Whether or not he couldn't control his emotions and couldn't control what he was doing is irrelevant. He chose to succumb to the Black Flame, therefore he chose this power, therefore it is his fault he made these decisions. Jian came along and was made by Jue the new guardian, no, the new general of the Midnight Rangers, and led the Midnight Rangers to victory. He led them to victory, winning the battle, winning that battle, defeating the Thronodium, pushing back the Tacit Discord army, and then being praised, and he became renowned as one of the most powerful resonators and the best general that has ever sort of come before him, including Geshu Lin. However, I'm pretty sure when Geshu Lin returns to Jinzhou, he's either going to want his title back. There's an obvious rivalry. Even in canon, it is stated that before Geshu Lin's disappearance, Geshu Lin and Jian were rivals. They were rivals. They weren't exactly on the best terms with each other. They never exactly saw eye to eye, and they clashed a lot. So it is most likely going to end or lead to a great fight that is going to happen going forward in the future of Wuthering Waves. Now, really quick side note, there is a rumor that I caught wind of where, do you remember last year in Honkai Star Rail, they went from 1.6 to 2.0. They didn't do 1.7, 8, or 9. They went straight from 1.6 to 2.0. There is information and rumors out there that apparently Kuro Games is going to do the same thing just in time for their 2.0 release. So we've got 1.3 coming around the corner in what, about 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks now. 4 weeks, about a month away. We're about halfway through 1.2. Or coming towards the halfway point of 1.2, which means we're about 3 to 4 weeks away from 1.3. Then we're going to have 1.4 going through to 1.5 and 6, and apparently we're going to go from 1.6 to 2.0, and we're going to have a big event, or something is going to happen within 2.0 that is going to impact the world of Wuthering Waves. Now, if it's up to me, if it's based on my hopes and wishes and based on my theories, I believe Geshu Lin will come around about that time. And when he does, I think there's going to be a great war or a great battle between the two generals and between potentially the Rover and Geshu Lin. And I believe the collateral damage of this is someone's going to die, and I think it's going to be one of the main cast like Yang Yang. I think it could be Yang Yang. I think it could be Tao Chi. I think it could be one of the someone who we've definitely seen and who we've spoken to before. But I do believe at the top spot it'll be Yang Yang. I believe Yang Yang will die. Jian could die, but I don't think he will die. He could die. There could be a great battle and Jian could perish in that battle. And maybe his death will snap Geshu Lin out of it, and he'll reclaim his title as the general of the Midnight Rangers. And then what could happen is he could have his sort of like redemption arc where he's trying to win back the hearts of the people of Jinzhou. He's now the general once again, and he's even more powerful clearly if he's defeated Jian. And now he's going to use this newfound power that he's learned to control and harness for the good of the people of Jinzhou. And due to Jian's death, he snapped out of the corruption, and maybe he will lead the Midnight Rangers and lead Jinzhou to victory going forward. Bearing in mind, these are just theories. This is a discussion video. This isn't factual information. This is something that I love to talk to you guys about, because in the comments, I see so many people when I do discuss these discussion videos comment on what they think is going to happen, whether they agree with my theories and agree with my points or not. Speaking of theories, anyone out there that is saying that Scar and Geshu Lin are the same person, get that theory out of your head. Get that theory, take it, throw it in the bin. That is not the case. Just because just because they show vague and very small similarities, like one in particular, the tacit discord in the same place on their neck. I'm sorry, but Jinshi and Jian's tacit discord is in the same place, and they're not the same person. So just because a tacit mark is in the same place as another character does not make them the same character. And granted, Geshu Lin's whole left side is bandaged up and scarred up, and just because Scar himself is scarred to oblivion, and we don't really know his backstory, again, does not mean he is Geshu Lin. Okay, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's highly, highly unlikely, and I personally do not think that theory is the case. I do not think that theory is the canon and correct theory. But if you disagree with me, or if you agree with me, then leave that down in the comments, and we'll continue to discuss what I think is going to happen. I think due to Geshu Lin's re-emergence, I think it's going to shift the balance in Jinzhou. And what I mean by that is, for all we know, if he has been trapped in the Threnodians universe for all this time, what new powers and abilities has he obtained? Did he defeat the Overthrax? Did he defeat the Threnodian? Did he take it back with him? And the army was what remained, and is what Jian and the Midnight Rangers fought. Or maybe if he was in the Threnodians universe, or in the Threnodians dimension, if that's where they come from, how many Threnodians do you think he has slain and defeated and absorbed, or learnt a way to become more powerful through each of his victims in that dimension? And what I mean by that is, his whole purpose after obtaining the Black Flame was to eradicate and defeat the Threnodian, to defeat the Overthrax and the army. If he has transported to where they live, to their home dimension, he is going to go absolutely berserk and just be like, I'll kill them all. I'll take them all down using this found new power. You know, like, for all we know, he could have gone even more insane. He could have grown even more powerful, even more corrupt, and he's just trying to kill every single one of the Threnodians he sees, or all the tacit discord. We genuinely do not know. But if my theory says anything, and if my headcanon says anything, it could be the fact that he is over there now, surviving, fighting, and growing even more powerful, and awaiting the right moment to return to Jinzhou, or maybe he's waiting till he becomes more powerful enough to break out of that dimension, or break out of wherever it is he could be. He could be injured, for all we know. He could just be surviving and scavenging, or he could have grown far more powerful, far more basically like just out of control, out of his mind. And then when he returns to Jinzhou, he'll exact his revenge. Not only will he be 10 times more powerful than he was before in these 3 years, but he'll also want to reclaim his general title. He might come back thinking that, for all we know, time works differently in places, like Mount Firmament. He might, in his mind, he might have only been over there for a few days, or maybe a few weeks, when it's actually been 3 years. So he might return going, I've defeated the Threnodians, I've come back to basically free you all, and to let you know that the job is done. And he could be met with absolute hatred from the people of Jinzhou, which could outrage him. He could be really confused, really out of his mind, and think, oh my god, I've been away for how long? It's been 3 days. It's been 3 days. How could it be 3 years? It's been 3 days. In his mind, because that's how time works in the world of the Threnodians. We don't know that, but that could be a good theory. That could be what's going on. That could be what has genuinely happened. He returns to Jinzhou with open arms. I've defeated the Threnodian. I've defeated the Overthrax. I've returned. I've returned to glory. I've returned to see my people and to let you know you are safe. Only to find out that actually they were always safe for the past 3 years, because Jian is the one that set them free and defeated the army of the Threnodian. And that would outrage him, make him angry, and due to his corruption and the power of the Black Flame, he might not be able to control his emotions, or maybe he just gets so jealous of everything going on, and he's just outraged with the hatred he's getting. He just snaps, and then next thing you know, Jian and Geshu Lin are at each other's throats, battling it out. Us as the Rover are there as well. We get bodied by Geshu Lin, because there's no way in hell is the Rover beating Geshu Lin in a fight. No way. No way. Due to the feats we already know that are in canon and the potential feats that he can do, there's no way. There's no way. Even in Jian's trailer, in Jian's personal release trailer, when he's obviously fighting Geshu Lin or fighting the Mirage of Geshu Lin, even in Jian's mind, Geshu Lin defeated him, and it wasn't until we sort of snapped out of it because Geshu Lin played on Jian's doubts, played on his weaknesses, and then Jian essentially lost that fight, and then he reawakened, and then in that animation, in that cutscene, in that cinematic, that's how he defeated that version or the spirit or something of Geshu Lin. And it sounds like Geshu Lin's very good at mind games, because even in the Mirage in 1.0, like Geshu Lin's toying with him. He's trying to wind him up. He's trying to get on Jian's bad side. He literally is trying to convince Jian to be what Geshu Lin was, but even more like savage. Like, doesn't matter how many soldiers we sacrifice. Victory is the only outcome as long as we remain like headstrong, and as long as weakness is basically plucked out of the Midnight Rangers. It's like, doesn't matter how many, so only the strong survive. That is essentially what Geshu Lin was saying to Jian, and it's absolutely insane. He is twisted, he is corrupt, he is deceived, and this dark flame, black flame power has clouded his judgment, clouded who he is. It's tainted his personality, and when Geshu Lin returns, there is going to be carnage. And I honestly cannot wait to see this happen if this is the case. I can't wait to see if this is the case. And if or when this happens, I am going to go absolutely berserk. I'm going to scream. I'm going to rave. I'm going to be so happy, not only to see Geshu Lin, but to see the story that is going to happen. It has to happen. It has to happen. We have to see a Geshu Lin versus Jian. They've been teasing this in the 1.0 story, in the Jian cinematic. We have been teased this by Kuro Games. They have something cooking. They are cooking. Something's being cooked in that kitchen at Kuro. In the Kuro Games kitchen. Something's being cooked, and I cannot wait to see what the finalized dish is going to be. The Geshu Lin versus Jian dish that we're going to get. I can't wait. I can't wait. I want to see one of the main characters die. I want to see Rover get bodied. I want to see Jian and Geshu Lin go head to head and clash. And seeing that power struggle is going to affect the world. It's going to affect Jinzhou, the people of Jinzhou. Have the city get trashed. Just something chaotic. Something just absolutely nuclear. Make that happen. Kuro, make something chaotic happen when Geshu Lin enters the fold. It has to. Has to. Everything's pointing towards it. Everything is pointing to that motherfucker returning, and that bastard wreaking havoc and chaos upon Jinzhou and Solaris 3. Or you have the off chance where he does genuinely come back. He is struggling to contain himself, and he's struggling between being this ruthless and merciless general that succumbed to the Black Flame and the true Geshu Lin. And maybe the story will be to stop him from losing control, and then maybe at some point he does lose control, and then we as the Rover, alongside Jian, fight him, knock him out of it, he's fine. That would be the boring route to go. He returns, he's like wondering what the hell's going on. He's sort of back to normal, but not, because he's found a way to kind of contain the Black Flame power from corrupting him, and then eventually we have to try and free him from the Black Flame's hold, and then we fight him when he loses control. There could be a pretty cool cutscene, a little skirmish between us and Jian and him, and then we beat him, and he's like, "Oh, I've snapped out of it now. The Black Flame is no longer in my system." You could do something like that, but we need some crazy event. Give me some crazy, chaotic event with Geshu Lin. Please, please, please. That would be insane. But anyway, guys, I've rambled on enough. This video is coming up to 20 minutes now. It's going to be uncut. It's going to be me just nerding out, theorizing about everything I think is going to happen around Geshu Lin. And I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling on. And let me know in the comments your theories and your thoughts and your discussion points about this video or about your own theories. Just let me know and I'd love to discuss those with you. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.